For section 6.3, solving multi-step inequalities, don't forget all of the things that you know about solving equations. Everything is going to be the same except for you have an inequality versus an equal sign, so the only difference will be flipping the inequality if you multiply or divide by a negative. So for the first one, we will distribute the 4 to get 4x minus 40 is greater than or equal to negative 36. We want to get the 4x by itself, so we should add 40 to both sides so that we have 4x greater than or equal to 4. Divide by 4, and we get x is greater than or equal to 1. Graph that just like we're used to. Close circle on 1, shade to the right for the greater than. For number 2, you have two options. You can either divide by negative 5 first, or you can distribute. I think most people distribute first, so let's go ahead and do that. Negative 5n plus 10, because a negative times a negative is a positive, is greater than or equal to 30. We want the negative 5n by itself, so we subtract 10, and we get 20. Divide by negative 5, and we get negative 4. However, the key to this problem is we have to flip the sign because we divided by a negative. If we put our numbers on the number line, again we have a closed circle, but this time we want the negative numbers. We want the numbers that are less than, so we shade to the left. Number 3, we have negative 8y greater than negative 2y plus 24. Because there are y's on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and move that 2y over by adding it to both sides. So we get negative 6y is greater than 24. Divide by negative 6, which makes us flip the sign to less than, and we get negative 4. Negative 4, 0. This time we will have an open circle because it does not include negative 4, but we still want the less than numbers, so we're going to shade to the left. For number 4, process is exactly the same, only we're using decimals. So we want to combine like terms, essentially, so that we have all of the x's on one side and all of the numbers on the other side. So I'm going to first add 3.5x to both sides, and we get 12x plus 6.2 is less than 3.2. Now we need to move this 6.2 over, so we're going to subtract 6.2. We get 12x is less than negative 3. Divide by 12. So that does not divide evenly. All we're going to do is reduce. So x is less than negative 1/4. Now, we did not flip our sign because we did not divide by a negative. However, our answer ends up negative, and that's okay. So, looking at number 5, let's distribute first. We get 7p plus 21 is less than 4p plus 21 plus 3p. I'm going to combine like terms on the right-hand side. And it looks like we have 7p plus 21 is less than 7p plus 21. Now, if we subtract 7p from both sides, all of the variables end up canceling out. So we have 21 is less than 21. Remember when we solved equations, some of the problems gave us no solution and some of them gave us infinitely many solutions. This one would be no solution, because all the variables canceled out and it made a false statement. 21 is not less than 21. Had it said less than or equal to, that would have worked. Okay, so for number 6, we're also going to distribute, and you distribute a fraction just the same way. If it helps for you to put the 5 over 1 and the 12 over 1, you can do that. 1/6 times 5x is just going to be 5/6 x. The 6 and the 12 do reduce evenly. So 1/6 of 12 would just be 2, less than or equal to 5, 6x plus 2. You can see that if we subtract the 5, 6x from both sides, it cancels. And we get 2 is less than or equal to 2. Now, this is a problem that the variables all cancel out, so this is either going to be no solution or infinitely many solutions. Because this is a true statement, this is infinitely many solutions. Whereas this one was not true, so it was no solution. Okay, so let's look at some of these word problems. It says write, solve, and graph. The first one says the sum of 4x and 2x. So remember, sum means to add. So we have 4x plus 2x is less than the difference. Remember, difference means subtraction. 5x and 13. On the left-hand side, I'm going to combine like terms and get 6x less than 5x minus 13. To get all of the x's together, I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. And we just get x is less than negative 13. And you can graph that. I'm going to go ahead and skip that part for right now. Number 2, the product of 3 and the sum of 2x and 1. So product means that we're going to multiply. Of 3 and the sum, so that means add. And we're taking the sum of 2x and 1. So 2x plus 1. But then we have to multiply that by 3. So we're going to put some parentheses around that. Is greater than or equal to the product, again we're going to multiply, negative 2, and again the sum of 3 and x. Distribute on both sides. So here we get 6x plus 3 greater than or equal to negative 6 minus 2x. We want all the x's on the left, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides and get 8x. We want all the numbers on the right, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I get negative 9. Divide, and you get negative 9 over 8. That does not divide evenly, so you just leave it. And if you were to plot that on a number line, it'd be between negative 1 and negative 2.